Couch Conversations with Danni Gyrl. Live DMEG Radio on fire. You listening right? Where you see the hottest underground interviews, you better tune in to Couch Conversations. Where they talk about it. No, it ain't the Breakfast Club. It's Danni Gyrl going live. Danni Gyrl going live. Danni Gyrl going live. Nothing's off limits here with Danni Gyrl going live. Danni Gyrl going live. Danni Gyrl going live. Nothing's off limits here with Danni Gyrl going live. Danni Gyrl going live. Danni Gyrl going live. Nothing's off limits here with Danni Gyrl going live. Danni Gyrl going live. Danni Gyrl going live. Nothing's off limits here with Danni Gyrl going live. Danni Gyrl going live. Live, 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 live. Danni Gyrl going live. Danni Gyrl going live.
Welcome to Couch Conversations, y'all. We are back again. Thank y'all for tuning in. I'm happy to be here. Thank you to everybody tuning in on Facebook and on YouTube. I appreciate it. Excuse me. We have a very good topic tonight. We're going to be talking about toxic family relationships. I really wanted to deep dive on this. I talked about it before in a previous season. But I wanted to get back to it again. Before I get into that, I just want to announce the DMEG 5th annual Block Party. I'm excited, y'all. I'm excited. Y'all should be excited too. It is June 13th from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. right here at my house. If you know where I'm at, if you don't know where I'm at, hit me up and I'll let you know where I'm at. The tickets are now available on Eventbrite. You can get you a free ticket or a VIP ticket right now for the next, I believe, 45 days. The 2-for-1, the VIP tickets are 2-for-1. So instead of one VIP ticket for $10, you get 2 for $5. Excuse me, 2 for $10. And it is hosted by Black Thompson. We will be honoring the legacy of Uncle Chuck, the legendary choreographer Swoop White Bear, the founder of Dractiquity, Desiree Demure, the owner of Lou Productions, Lou Dowdy, and the owner of J3 Management, Darrell Madison. We will have an on-site bar. We will have vendors, live performances. We're going to have a live band. Of course, we're going to do the raffle and have some giveaways like we do every year. We have the fashion show curated by Gigi, which is coming together very beautifully. We have some beautiful models as well. We will have media there as well. We will have CNTV Hollywood as well as It's All About Support. And we will also have a 360 photo booth. So y'all make sure y'all come out. If you need more information, you can go to the website, go to Eventbrite, search 5th annual DMEG Block Party. Okay, let's get into the show, y'all. I'm excited about this show. I am excited to have this conversation with y'all. Y'all know I love having these conversations. And this one is one that I don't feel like we talk about enough. We do not talk about toxic family members. We don't talk about toxic families enough. And I just felt like that was something that we needed to get into tonight and something that we needed to talk about. So this conversation is not going to be about friends. It's not going to be about family. It's not going to be about coworkers. Friends or coworkers or relationships. This is strictly about family. And we're going to talk about the people that share your DNA. We're going to talk about, is it appropriate to cut off family? And when is it necessary to go no contact? So I just want to get into this conversation with y'all tonight. First of all, let's talk about the word toxic. Is the word toxic overused? And I don't think it is. For the most part, when people say somebody is toxic, usually they are. So we're going to talk about that before we even get into this conversation. The definition of toxic is patterns of behavior that are consistently harmful to your emotional, mental, spiritual, or financial well-being. And I'm going to come back to that. Is the word toxic overused? For the people that would say, yes, the word is overused, discomfort isn't abuse, correction isn't toxicity. Some people just don't like accountability. And sometimes when you are trying to hold somebody accountable, they will tell you that you're acting toxic or you're being toxic. And, you know, when we talk about narcissists, we use the word toxic as well. Toxic is emotional manipulation. Toxic is narcissistic parenting. Toxic is trauma bonding. These are the things that toxic are. I know a lot of people label their parents as toxic. And I'm going to tell you this. Parents can be toxic. I have seen examples of parents being toxic. They will trigger their children, and then when the children lash out, they play victim. And in the Bible, it even tells you do not provoke your children. But they lash out and they try to play victim after they've done things to the children. Everything is not toxic. Let's just say that. Everything is not toxic. Everything bad is not toxic. But when you see a consistent pattern of behavior, a consistent pattern of negative behavior, a consistent pattern of narcissistic behavior, it is toxic. The reason I wanted to talk about toxic family members is because I've been watching different things play out in social media and in the blogs. One of the things that stood out the most to me when I was putting this together was Glorilla and her sisters. So we're going to talk about entitlement as well. We're going to get into that, and how toxic family and entitlement go together. Toxic is not having one argument where y'all disagree, or one misunderstanding, or one season, because sometimes people will get into a misunderstanding and it might last a year, sometimes even two. That's not necessarily toxic. Sometimes people just disagree and they don't know how to get back to extending the olive branch. Toxic are things that happen repeatedly that hurt you. Repeated disrespect, repeated manipulation, those are things that are toxic. If you feel drained after every time you talk to somebody or see somebody, more than likely that person is probably toxic. And I call these people emotional vampires. I have a few people that I have chosen to stay away from, because every time they come around, when they leave, I feel tired. I feel like mentally discombobulated. I've spoken before on someone that I dated, and I stopped dating him because he trauma dumped on me, and it was really toxic. That trauma dump was toxic. It literally made me sick. So yeah, the toxic behavior is passed down. And one thing I wanted to say about that is the toxic behavior being passed down is, if you cannot identify or recognize the toxic behavior to nip it in the bud, it will get passed down from generation to generation. Toxicity is about patterns, not about one isolated event. I'm going to kind of skip around this a little bit because I had this all planned out the way I wanted to discuss it, when I started getting into it, but I'm gonna kind of get around this. I want to go straight to family. How do you know your family is toxic? And I want to get into that. How do you know that your family is toxic? I know a lot of people have different family dynamics. A lot of people are raised different religions, different financial situations, different neighborhoods, different cultures, all these different things. Um, I want people to be able to identify when their family is toxic and not just when it's something that has to do with the culture or their culture. Um, Emotional red flags with family members. And I want to get into this. And we're going to play Cash App games tonight as well. Thank you to everybody that's tuning in. I love y'all. Make sure to please interact with the show. Emotional red flags with toxic family members. Gaslighting. And this is a big one with family. They will tell you that things never happen. I see this a lot with parents and children, but they will tell you that things never happen. A lot of these emotional red flags I see a lot with parents and children. Guilt manipulation. And that is a lot of when people say, and this is why I said I hear this a lot with parents and children. After all I did for you, after all I sacrificed for you, after all I gave up for you, that's guilt manipulation. Dismissing your feelings. And this is something that I am big on correcting. I do not like people to dismiss or downplay my feelings. If I'm feeling something, it is valid. It might not be valid to you, but it is definitely valid to me, and I need to express it. Public humiliation masked as jokes. And I see this a lot as well. Public humiliation masked as jokes. And a lot of people just be like, oh, that person is hating or whatever. But sometimes when people are joking with you, you got to pay attention to what they're talking about. Because I've noticed a lot of people have this thing where they say, and some people say it in a way where they're not trying to be disrespectful, even though the statement I feel is a little disrespectful. When you're talking to somebody and you tell them about their little business that they got going on, or you see that little car that they bought or their little house that they got, and the term little just downplays everything to me. And sometimes that can be meant the way it's said. Just exactly how it's said. But people will sometimes get out in public and say things and do things. And I've had this happen to me before with family members. They get in public and they say things that they know are embarrassing, but they make it a joke. So you're basically the butt of the joke. Everybody's laughing at you and not with you. You have people around you that will sabotage your success. They will weaponize your secrets and things that happened in your past. They want to compete with you. They try to pull other people into private conflicts. I see this a lot as well when people are having conflicts and then they try to drag other people into it to get on the hate train. And they refuse accountability. And the reason I wanted to talk about toxic family is because the next thing I'm getting into is where I'm really going with this is family entitlement. Okay. And most toxic family members have a sense of family entitlement. Hello, DJ Gino. Hello, Mr. Berserto. Jason Taylor. Hello. Hi, Jay Flash. Nisha. Thank y'all for tuning in tonight. Entitlement, family entitlement. And what is entitlement? Let's talk about that. Entitlement is when somebody expects. And the funny thing is, I didn't even do this, but I noticed it's highlighted I guess when I ran it through. But anyways, when someone expects special treatment or access without earning it, often believing they are owed resources, attention, respect, etc., simply because of relationship or status. And let's get to it. So the reason I wanted to talk about this is because I've been watching this situation play out on social media with Glorilla and her sisters. And I was really bothered by it because I was listening to her sister talk about how Glorilla's not taking care of the family and how she's not doing this and how she's not doing that. The parents are working, excuse me, and all these things. And the first thing I did, because when people start talking about taking care of a family, especially a celebrity, taking care of a family and feeling entitled to what that person has, I Googled Glorilla's net worth. Glorilla's net worth. And her net worth has not been pinpointed yet, but it is estimated somewhere between $1.5 and $2.5 million. Now, in 2026, that's not a lot of money. That's not a lot of money. And I don't understand how people think she's gonna be able to take care of her family with $2 million. I just personally don't understand it. If y'all understand it, please let me know. But I don't understand it. Also, I want to take a break really quick. Thank you to our sponsors. We're able to bring back Cash App games. So please share the live. Tag somebody. Comment done with your Cash App tag in the comments. And somebody gonna win some money tonight before the end of the show. Okay? Let me see. I'm sorry, y'all. Somebody is trying to get to the show and can't get to it. Let me help them out really, really quick. Cash App games. There's the instructions right there. Share the live, tag somebody, comment done with your Cash App tag, and at the end of the show, somebody go win some money. So I want y'all to do that really quick while I try to help this person get on the show. Thank y'all to everybody that watches the show, and I really appreciate y'all so very, very much. Hey, best friend, Apostle Huggins, thank you for tuning in. One more time before I take it off the screen, I'm going to put it back up later. It's time for the Cash App game. Share the live, tag somebody. Comment done in your Cash App tag, and somebody at the end of the show is going to win some money. Okay? Now, back to the show. It just bothered me about the whole Glorilla situation for the simple fact that she didn't have money to take care of her family. And I don't think a lot of people understand that when you become a celebrity, a lot of stuff is given to you and there's a lot of perks with your status. So I think that her siblings are looking at her and her lifestyle and how she's living and feeling like she has more than she really has. Because $2.5 million doesn't go far. And I don't know if y'all remember when Glorilla originally got signed to I believe it was Yo Gotti. She only signed for $50,000. So the fact that she has $2.5 million right now, she's doing really, really good. $50,000. She signed for $50,000. So I don't know what her family expects. I don't know what they expect her to do. And it's 9 siblings. Like, I'm going to tell y'all something. And this is the God's honest truth. So, if I was in Glorilla's situation and I had other siblings, and I'm saying this because I have siblings. I have 6 siblings for people that don't know. I have 5 on my daddy's side, and I have Danni. Everybody know Danni. For my siblings, I have been through this low key. I would just try to put them in a position to make their own money. And if they don't want to do that, then I don't know what to tell them. There's no way that I will be trying to take care of my family with $2 million. $2 million to be gone by the end of the year. Like, for real, for real, for real. But a lot of this comes from the mentality that when somebody makes it, we all make it. When somebody go, we all go. Um, Shaq, I believe it was, made a comment and said that he told his kids, "I'm rich, we not rich." Like, it's the entitlement. And a lot of that entitlement creates toxicity if the toxicity is not already there. It creates envy, it creates jealousy, things of that nature. Um, People will disregard a person's boundaries or their own personal needs for the feeling that they have the entitlement into whatever that person has. Uh, Examples in families sometimes can be people feeling like they're owed money because somebody in the situation made money. They're owed a house because somebody in the situation made money. I've seen people feeling entitled to brand new cars because they feel like they parents can afford a car. I see this a lot on social media. They're gifting their children cars, and the cars aren't good enough because they feel like they should have a brand new car, a BMW, a Benz, or whatever the parent is driving, when they ain't got the parents' money. Um, so the entitlement. And a lot of times in toxic family relationships, it's hard to maneuver without just completely crashing out and just really going off on somebody. Um, in my own personal situations with toxic family members, I have been able to cut them off in the last maybe year and a half, only because I'm learning boundaries going through therapy. Um, if y'all really know me, if you know me personally, you know sometimes I could be a people pleaser. I'm very like, I try to be strict when it comes to business, but sometimes even in business, I have to draw boundaries with myself. Um, Sometimes I could be a people pleaser. Excuse me. And I had to start drawing boundaries in therapy because my people pleasing had got to a point where I was feeling drained, and I was having, like, I don't want to say breakdowns, but yeah, I was kind of having breakdowns because I felt like I had poured out so much and nobody was pouring back into me, that I had just really tapped out and I was completely dry, and people were still trying to pour from, like, get me to pour into them, and I couldn't. um Drawing boundaries is not a bad thing, okay? It's not a rebellion. It is something that will actually help you find peace in a place that you didn't know existed. um Sometimes when you need to find a way to draw boundaries, and I just said I've been finding my way through therapy, but let me explain something to y'all with therapy. Therapy, they don't give you the answers. If you have never been to therapy, they don't give you the answers. When you go to them and talk about something, they don't tell you, okay, this is what you should do. That's not what they do. They give you the way to find the answer for yourself. And then once you find the answer for yourself, it's in a way that'll stick with you. So when you're in that situation again, you kind of know how to maneuver through it. So through therapy, I got this book, My Organic Soul. This is a very good book. Um, it's a journal, but it also has, and let me go to some pages in here that I haven't written on. It has little quotes. I'm not sure if y'all can see the writing in the book, but it has little quotes in the book that are written by different artists. And it's not just artists in here. They have quotes from the Bible, Martin Luther King, but I have got this My Organic Soul, and it is a journal. And I started to journal things, and that's what helped me draw boundaries. Because when I started reading back some of the stuff that was going on and how I had allowed people to run over me or to get over on me, I was like, wait a minute, hold on. Hold on, hold on, hold on. I have been in conversations with people and realized like this person got over on me or they're getting over on me. And for the most part, and I'm saying for the most part, I'm a non-confrontational person. For the most part. And I try to pray about things. I try to think things through. I try to let it meditate and sit on my heart before I go and handle them. But sometimes it don't work out like that. Sometimes it just don't. And I'm gonna get back to the script, y'all. But yeah, the journaling. The journaling is good and it helps you draw boundaries. And going no contact with people is not bad. Okay. I want y'all to understand this. It's not a punishment. It's not anything like that. Drawing boundaries and going no contact with people puts you in a position where you're protecting your peace. It's okay to put your phone on do not disturb. It is okay to not answer text right away. It is okay to let people go to voicemail. It is okay to not call them back right away. Sometimes you have to draw boundaries, and in drawing boundaries, you will find out who in your life is toxic. Because when you tell people no, toxic people are persistent and consistent, and they will try to get their way. And that goes back to what I was talking about a little bit earlier about gaslighting and manipulation. So this comment says, you're always giving and nothing coming back, and it can weigh heavy on you and bring you to a mental breakdown. And that's where I was at. I was drained. And then on top of pouring into people and draining myself, I had an emotional vampire, which I was just talking about earlier. I had an emotional vampire sucking the rest of the life out of me. And let me tell y'all, when that happens, it's like your body is tired. You're mentally tired. Your body is tired. And sometimes you would just find yourself asleep. Like, that's how I started realizing that it was too much. If y'all know me, y'all know I'm one person that hardly sleeps. I hardly sleep. So when I would find myself in situations where I would just be sitting up and the next thing I know, I'm dozed off, I had to figure out what is taking the energy out of me. What is making me do this? And it's toxicity. It's certain people I don't answer the phone for anymore. I've said this before. I love my siblings, but most of them I don't talk to and I don't answer the phone for because it's always something. Something, something, something. It's very rarely good. It's always something. And that's toxic to me because when it's a relationship where you're constantly asking me for something, but you're never giving back, and that's the only time I hear from you is when you're asking me for something, that's a toxic relationship within itself. So when you asking for things to add to the toxicity or trying to drag me into toxic things, that's just too much. It's too much. It's too much. And one of the things that low key pissed me off about Glorilla's sister was bringing the parents into it. I understand they all 10 of them are survivors of some type of trauma and PTSD. Listening to how they lived was a trauma within itself. But being upset because somebody made it out, but they haven't quite made it to the extent to take care of the whole family is crazy. And then just the entitlement to have what she has and you haven't worked for anything that she's worked for. Yeah, like I personally, I'm not a big Glorilla fan, but I personally I like her story. Like I like seeing how she was working in fast food and all the stuff that she was doing before she actually got on with her music. Um, when you put in that type of time and grind and investing in yourself, it's hard to want to just deal with entitled people that feel like you owe them because they know you and we're family. And every time I hear that, it just makes me think about that you wasn't with me shooting in the gym. That's how I feel. Uh Going no contact is not a silent treatment. It is protection for your peace. And I'm gonna keep saying that. It is protection for your peace. Like, I don't have a problem going no contact with nobody. I really don't. Like, I have numbers in my phone, and I'm being honest with y'all. They don't have last names on them. And because I haven't called them in so long, I can't even put the name with the face anymore. Like, I don't have a problem going no contact with people. I don't like to sit on the phone and gossip. I don't like to do that. I don't like to put certain things out into the aura and speak certain energies into the atmosphere. Like, the more I learn about toxic behavior, the more it makes me withdraw from people. Let me look at some of these comments. Especially when you weren't there through the struggles. Yes, 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 yes. So that's where I'm at in life right now. I know it's a lot of people that probably see me on social media and watch couch conversations or see my lives or listen to my radio show, and y'all don't talk to me. And it's a few of y'all that have called or texted out and reached out, and I didn't answer. And it's no disrespect, but I'm gonna tell y'all something. When I was down with my leg, um, I'm still kind of, my accident happened in October, on the 2nd of October. People that I haven't talked to since the 2nd of October. Um, my surgery was on my birthday. So this is the whole thing about my surgery. My surgery was on my birthday, and because my surgery was short notice, I gave people the benefit of the doubt that you probably didn't know I was having surgery because they told me on the 30th, and then the surgery was on my birthday, which was 4 days later. A lot of people didn't know I was having surgery. A lot of people didn't see the live I put up, which I didn't expect everybody to see the live. And I was okay with that. But I had the surgery on my birthday. Okay, so let's talk about it. It was my birthday. So I literally was out of it. I was very sick on my birthday. My kids had my phone. But when I came to, they did give me my phone. So I know who messaged me, who posted on my wall, who sent me a text message. If you text me, you for sure got a message back. If you inbox me or DM me, you for sure got a message back. Some of the things on my wall I wasn't able to respond to, but I seen 99% of it. So if you didn't reach out to me on my birthday, you probably didn't know I had surgery. But if we're friends, you should have talked to me on my birthday, right? Or if we family, you should have talked to me on my birthday. Especially when I was having a party and the party got canceled. And a lot of people didn't know that the party got canceled. So the fact that I haven't talked to y'all since October or November is okay with me. I'm okay with that. I had surgery. Like people that I love, that I talk to on a regular basis, that I have called and checked on in all their situations, they have not called me one time, have not sent a text message. Hey, are you okay? Are you alive? I'm okay with that. I am okay with that. Like, it took me about a week to figure out who I had and had not talked to. And then I talked it out with my therapist. And I have been no contact with those people. And I actually sat down and I had to think about why I have not called them back. And the reason was because when I first had surgery, I didn't want to really talk to nobody at all. So I was texting, not really talking. And then when I did get back to talking, it was short because I didn't want to hear about nobody's problems. I didn't want to hear about nobody's trauma dumping. I didn't want to hear nothing toxic. I was trying to heal. I was trying to be one with the Lord and get my life together. And I'm still trying to do that because I'm still not all the way together. But the fact that I ain't talked to some of y'all since November sits okay with me. Here we are in February. We'll be in March in a week and a half. I'm okay with that. Because some of y'all was toxic in my life. And it took me to have time off from y'all to figure out that y'all was toxic. It's been so peaceful over here. Peaceful. It has been so peaceful over here. Sometimes it takes situations to find out who's real in your inner circle. And that is absolutely right. Absolutely right. I found out that what I have found out is one, I have found out who really follows me on Facebook, because people that I really don't know, that I really don't talk to, they have reached out to me, and I appreciate that. People that watch Couch Conversations, I love y'all, and let me tell y'all why. When Couch Conversations was not on, y'all was like, hit me up trying to figure out what happened to Couch Conversations. I appreciate y'all, and I told y'all I was coming back. I just needed time to get my head in the game. But I appreciate the people that hit me up about Couch Conversations. I appreciate all of y'all. And I'm not saying this to make nobody feel guilty or nothing. I'm saying this to let y'all know I found out who rock with me, and everybody that didn't, and we've been no contact, I'm okay with it. And we gonna leave it like that. Toxic family members, I'm okay with y'all too. We gonna leave y'all where y'all at. Let me tell y'all something. I'm to a point now that I am so at peace with so many things. I'm at peace with people that don't like me. I am at peace with people that don't want to come to my events. I am at peace with all of that. Because let me tell y'all, I have seen some of y'all come to my events and bring y'all toxic energy to my events. I have seen this, okay? I have overheard it. I have walked past people that's just talking trash about people at my events. And let me tell y'all something. I don't like this toxicity at my events because, and I'm going to get back to toxic families. I veered off into toxic people. But I don't like this energy at my events because I invite people from all walks of life to my event. I don't like, most of my events are Black people. But if you come to the block party, you know, we have every race that will show up at some point or another. I do not mind all walks of life being there, all ages. People bring their babies. We have people that bring their grandparents. I don't mind. This is what I have it for. And I try to accommodate everybody, even with the music. If y'all pay attention, I have artists that have a little bit of old school vibe. I have artists that have a little new school vibe. I try to bring it all so I can accommodate everybody. But when y'all bring this toxic energy, it makes people uncomfortable. And I don't like that. Like, I haven't done it at the block party because I just try to leave the block party alone. But I have had events, and Sherry is watching. Hi, Sherry, who is my assistant, has been my assistant for about to be 7 years. Sherry will tell you, I have no problem stopping an event and telling people to get the hell out and take their nasty ass energy with them. And the reason is because y'all toxic energy affects other people. Like, I don't know if y'all know, there are people that can walk into a room and feel the toxic air. They can feel the toxic energy. They can feel where it's coming from. Some of y'all energy is so big, y'all can walk into a room and change the vibe in the room. Y'all ever been at a family function? And I'm about to take y'all back to toxic family relationships. Y'all ever been at a family function and everybody laughing and kikiing and having a good time and everybody's just doing their thing, and then one cousin or one auntie or one uncle or somebody walk in and everybody's like, and the whole mood change? Because as soon as they walk in, you can just feel that toxic energy coming. You can feel it when they come in the room. I told you I went off a year on Facebook and nobody checked on me. Okay, now see, I'm gonna tell you something about Facebook. Thank you to the people that follow me on Facebook, and I'm gonna keep saying that. I have a friend a few years back, maybe this about 10 years ago, and I've told this story on the show before, but I'm gonna tell y'all again because y'all know I don't have no quarrels about telling y'all nothing I've did or nothing I've been through. I'm sorry if I tap that microphone. I'm trying to get this sign up. Cash App Games. We almost to the end of the show. I have a friend who we had talked, and we would talk almost every day, but some days we didn't talk, but she knew I posted on Facebook every day. And she couldn't find me one day. I didn't answer the phone. I didn't post on Facebook. She didn't know where I was, and she instantly went into search mode. She found me. Thank God she found me. And once she found me, she knew where I was and everything. But she knew that I was missing because I didn't post on Facebook. So I want y'all to pay attention to y'all Facebook friends. Like, Facebook is a social gathering place. And because people don't meet face to face anymore, because meeting face to face is not what it used to be, y'all need to be more aware of the people on your social media, especially if they're people that you talk to on a regular basis. I was just telling somebody a couple weeks ago, it's been amazing watching children grow up on social media. Like, I have really had friends on social media that I've been friends with on social media, and I really pay attention to them. I really pay attention to them. I could tell you, okay, I might pay attention too much, but that's because I be up all night. But some people, I could tell you when they got married, when they had their baby, when they got divorced, when their kids got married. Like, I be that much into their situation because usually it's people that are friends of friends or somebody that I know that's in another state, somebody that somebody introduced me to on Facebook. But I pay attention. And I've also seen that some of y'all got some toxic family members. Some of y'all are the toxic family member. It's a couple artists that I don't book because you are the toxic family member, and I seen it play out on Facebook. I just want y'all to know that. I pay attention to everything. I pay attention to more than y'all think I do anyway. But I be trying to keep that toxic energy away. That's what I really be trying to do. What we need to do is we need to realize it's okay to go no contact. Why do people go no contact? Because they feel emotionally abused, because they feel that the person is a narcissist, because they feel like they're constantly being disrespected, because there is physical abuse, because they feel like there is financial exploitation or financial abuse, or because unresolved trauma is resurfacing. Okay, that's one of the reasons I went no contact with somebody. I'm not gonna say who, a family member. Every time I would talk to them, it would feel like they were just pouring salt in a wound that I was trying to heal. And it was a wound that they created, and I was trying to heal it, and it felt like they were just constantly pouring salt in the wound. So I said, you know what, if I just stop talking to them, the wound will heal one way or another, and I could just move on. What I need people to realize that it's okay to go no contact. It is absolutely okay to go no contact. I'm gonna talk to y'all about that real quick because I got so much I can talk to y'all about on this subject. Let me touch on this before I go back to no contact. Some of y'all are enablers. Some of y'all enable the toxic behavior. Some of y'all are not the toxic relative, but you're the toxic enabler. Some of y'all gonna have to stop enabling y'all family members. Enabling is when you help somebody continue their harmful behavior. And I'm gonna tell you, this is one thing that I've seen a lot of on social media, especially TikTok. Enabling toxic behavior and a toxic person hand in hand together is a mess. It's a nightmare. It's a bomb. I have noticed that a lot of mothers on social media, and I have seen this in person as well, but I'm going to say on social media, a lot of mothers will take care of their adult sons and kick out their adult daughters. That's toxic. That's toxic as hell. But I also know that some of y'all mothers do that because your son is the only man you got. But that's for another show. Some of y'all cover up people's lies, people's mistakes. It could be your kids, your siblings, somebody in the family. Y'all excuse their behavior. Y'all make excuses, talk and tell people to just let it go. It's not worth it. Like, people have to start taking accountability for their toxic behavior. One thing that I tell my therapist all the time when I go to therapy and I recognize something, and I did this a couple weeks ago, my first line in therapy was, I am the problem. And I went into telling him why I am the problem. I have been the queen of my own accountability since the end of 2025. And the reason I'm saying that is because I've always thought that I've held myself accountable, but I'm finding out that I haven't. So now I'm more aware of it, and I'm trying to hold myself accountable for the things that I do, because I don't want to be the toxic family member. I don't want that to be me. I don't like being around the toxic family members, but I don't want to be the toxic family member either. Okay, so I'm still on this. And I told y'all at the beginning I was gonna be jumping around. Normalize grieving after going no contact. Sometimes it feels like a process that you're going through trauma. You're processing trauma, and in some ways that you are, but normalize it being okay to create healthy boundaries, and normalize it okay to grieve losing people. Sometimes grieving the loss of a person doesn't necessarily mean that they're dead. Sometimes it just means that you lost them out of your life, and you still have to grieve them. One of the things that I worked on last year was, and I'm gonna be absolutely honest with y'all, if you've watched Couch Conversations, you know I talk about a toxic friend that I had that used to co-host the show. And unless I've talked to you personally about her, you would not know the level of toxic that she was. But she was a toxic friend, and I enabled her. Okay. But when we stopped being friends, even the way it ended was sloppy and messy, and I was like, okay, going no contact with her. I still had an issue with the fact that we weren't friends no more, and I did for a couple years. And that was one of the things that I worked out in therapy too, is why was I having an issue with not being her friend no more? But it was because I had never grieved losing her as a friend. I didn't want her back as a friend at all. But I never grieved losing her as a friend because we had spent so much time together and did so many things together. I really had to grieve losing that friendship. So it's okay to grieve losing somebody, especially a family member that's still alive. I'm telling y'all, it is okay. You will get over it. Okay. I'm not trying to be funny, but I have previously spent probably about 5 or 6 months grieving one whole side of my family. And the reason being is because I said I didn't want to be bothered no more for whatever my list of reasons was. And I had to grieve losing a whole side of the family. And when I say that, I started at the top. I started with the uncles, the aunties, the cousins' children. I ain't gonna lie, I've grieved losing some of my siblings, even though they're alive. I love them. I like to try to see, that they doing okay. I don't want to talk to them. Hey, how you doing? Is all that I can talk as far as a conversation, and then after that, I'm kind of checked out. I have established boundaries in my life with everybody. This is why I have realized that I'm okay being single. And I'm going to tell y'all something. From somebody that has went through a whole whatever I was going through in life where I felt like I needed a significant other, I have been single for the last 3 years and it has been amazing. Okay. I'm not going to say I don't get lonely sometimes, but guess what? I got kids. I got my grandmama. I got my mama. I got my brother. I got my sister-in-law. I got so many people that keep me occupied and so much going on that I really don't even have time to think about it. Like, I have work. I have sponsors. I have partners. I have things I have to do. I don't have time to think about really having a man. And it's not that I don't want one. If he comes along, if God sends him, hey, great. But I've been weeding them out because I don't want a toxic man. I didn't had enough of them too. I don't want anybody toxic around me. I can't deal with a toxic dynamic at all. Family, relationship, friendship. I can't deal with toxicity right now in my life. So when establishing healthy boundaries, some ways that you can reroute a conversation is when somebody asks you something, you can tell them, I can't discuss that right now. If somebody asks you for some money, you can say, I'm not available for financial support right now. If somebody wants to talk to you about something and you feeling a little tense or like the conversation is a little heated, you can tell them, we can talk about it when we both calm. Family is biological. Support is intentional. It's okay to cut off the biology and get you a chosen family. I'm telling you, it's okay. It is okay. It is okay. It is okay. Some people come from a traumatic and toxic background and they need to break loose. Some people need to go no contact with the family. Some of this stuff is generational. It goes from generation to generation to generation to generation. And if you don't stop it, which I believe we're in a generation where people are breaking generational curses. We're in a time when people are breaking generational curses. If you don't stop it, then your children continue these toxic traits, these toxic behaviors. And some of y'all need to take accountability that y'all toxicity came from a parent that was toxic or a parent that was narcissistic. We don't talk about that enough. We don't talk about being raised by a toxic or narcissistic parent, how that affects us as adults, how it affects our children and grandchildren. If we don't grab it take a hold of it and break the curse. That's something we got to do. Comment. If they don't add purpose to your life, then see ya. You just taught on a generational curse. I'm going to inbox you. I need to know what you taught about on generational curses. I'm going to have that probably this season too. We're going to talk about some of the generational curses because toxicity is a big one, but there are so many more. So let's talk about healing. How do you heal after no contact and you grieve and you do all of that? So you could heal without being vengeful or trying to seek revenge. And the way you do that is you go on with your life. When people tell you the idea that you came up with is not going to succeed, what you're trying to do is not going to make it, the idea is not to prove them wrong. I mean, I guess it is to a certain extent, but the initial idea is not to prove them wrong. It is to go and find your peace without having to hear that. You don't have to show people that you thrive in. You don't have to show people that you win in. You can do all of that in silence because at the end of the day, you're giving them more reasons to be toxic towards you. More reasons to feel entitled towards what you have. More reasons to keep up conflict. So it's okay to forgive somebody and move on. You can forgive people and still go no contact. You can forgive people and still not talk to them. You can forgive people and still don't have to forget. Forgiveness is for yourself. It frees you of what is going on. And this whole episode is about finding peace with your toxic family members. Let me see. Let me go back through this really quick and see what I didn't touch on. But toxic people, they will always be your downfall if you allow them around you. Their mentality is never to see you win. It's always going to be self-centered, and it's always going to be about them, whether that comes through gaslighting, manipulation, whatever, financial exploitation. We talked about that. Violating your boundaries, projecting negativity, jealousy, rivalry, envy, all these things, feeling entitled. All of these things are key indicators of toxic behavior. And it's about the pattern of these things, not one time, not something happening one time. It's about a pattern of these things or a combination of these things. So we really, really, really want to try to weed out the toxic people in our life. I'm big over here about mental health, keeping your mental health together. And people that are toxic will always, 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 always interrupt your cycles of peace. Going no contact protects your mental health. It interrupts toxic cycles. It helps you gain perspective and clarity, and it allows space for self-reflection and healing. Some no contact types can be temporary, which is just a pause to reset the boundaries, or it could be permanent, which is an ongoing separation to be away from chronic and unresolvable situations. Your body gonna know, and a lot of people don't realize this, your body talks to you when you're dealing with certain situations, trauma, toxicity. Sometimes if you're dealing with a situation and it's toxic, it's traumatic, it's triggering, you just have a bad feeling about it. Sometimes your chest tightens up. Sometimes you might feel something in your head, in your legs. We got to start paying attention to that. All those things are signals, and we have to start paying attention to these things. We got to get traumatic, PTSD, toxic people out of our life, especially if they're not trying to do nothing to help themselves. Somebody says, stay away from toxic people. Never forget. Thank you, Sean. Thank you for tuning in. Some people are not evil. Some people are not mean. Some people are just unhealthy mentally, and they really need help. So this is all about protecting your peace. Is cutting off your family ever justified? I want to get on this really quick before we get out of here. Is cutting off your family ever justified? Yes. Yes, to protect your peace. Yes, because access is earned. Yes, because your mental health matters. Yes, because repeated harm requires boundaries. Yes, because distance can create clarity. Yes, because abuse is abuse, even if it's from your family. Yes, because access is a privilege, not a right. Yes, because boundaries are biblical and they are healthy. Yes, because nobody is entitled to what you have. How y'all feel about that? Okay? Cutting off family is justified. And I'm going to tell y'all something. Sometimes when you get into situations with your family, they will start telling you, oh, we family, we blood, we this, we that, we this, we that, we this, we that. Don't let that come between us. Listen, I don't give a damn what we are. I don't give a damn if we blood. I don't want to hear blood is thicker than water. I don't want to hear none of that. If you toxic, you rubbing me the wrong way. I don't like the way you joking with me in public. I will cut you off, and I don't have no problem with it. I'm an only child. I grew up by myself anyway. Okay, I should say not. I'm an only child. I was an only child till I was 20. So I grew up by myself. My brother grew up by himself. We are okay not talking to people, not socializing. If you know anything about Danni, you know Danni is an introvert. He don't even answer the phone unless you calling him about some money. Okay? People will say going no contact is avoidance. Going no contact is not avoidance. No contact is you dealing with the situation head on. Head on and avoiding conflict. That's what it is. It is not punishment. It is protection. I don't know how many times I done said that because I know I done wrote it down quite a few times when I was putting this together. Can you love somebody and still block them? Yes. Does forgiveness require reconciliation? No. Is going no contact healing or avoidance? It is healing, not avoidance. It is okay to cut your family off. I'm telling you. When they start talking about you wouldn't be here without us, family come first, and you wouldn't have this if it wasn't for me, and you wouldn't, it's okay. That's called guilt manipulation. I went over that first at the beginning, at the top of the show. Guilt manipulation. Get up. I need y'all to know what that is, so when you start facing that part head on, that you know how to deal with that as well. Do not allow your family to manipulate you. Do not allow them to make you feel guilty. If you are successful and the rest of your family is not, that is not your fault. That is not your fault. Let me tell you something. I went through a little mental struggle about me quitting my 9 to 5 to start my business. And I did it. For those of you who don't know, shout out to Danny Boy for allowing me to be in a position to quit my job and helping me to start my business. When I decided that I wanted to take it to the next level in 2018, 2019, I did a lot. And when I say a lot, I was away from my family. I was in Vegas. So a lot of people don't know what I went through to start my business, but I did a lot. It's a lot to put a show together. Me, Tiffany, shout out to Tiffany, shout out to Christina. I know Tiffany was watching. I don't know if Christina was watching or not, but shout out to them. We was putting these shows together. Baby, we was scraping up dollars. We was scraping up cents. We was taking out loans. We was doing all kind of stuff to put it together and make it happen. Okay? And I invested a lot of money in myself. I believed in myself. I invested a lot of money in myself. and what I had put on paper to make happen. And I was offended for people to tell me that I needed to get a 9 to 5. After you have invested tens of thousands of dollars into a career, it's almost insulting. And I'm not saying this was anybody specific, because I heard it from different people, and I understand why everybody had their reason for telling me that. So shout out to the people that told me from a good place, and we sat down and talked about it, and they understand why I don't have a 9 to 5. But it's insulting for people to tell me to get a 9 to 5 after I'd invested all this time. I'm going to explain something to y'all. I stayed up many, many, many nights. And the people, Sherry, that's watching, my assistant, they could tell you it's nights when we didn't sleep. We didn't see a whole lot of sunrises, okay? Out here grinding, trying to make DMEG happen. And we did. And it may not be as successful as people feel it should be, but for the time and the money we put in, we done did a lot. We done came a long way, and we did it really fast. It's insulting for people to tell me to get a 9 to 5 now that I'm in California, because when I was in Vegas, I was low-key sending everybody money home. I was paying phone bills. I was sending people lunch. Just own it. They didn't even have to ask. Oh, you ain't got it, I got you. Like, my Cash App was working overtime. And what a lot of people don't understand now, and I'm just letting people in my business tonight, because it's some toxic family members out there that be trying to scope my Facebook page and see what I got going on. So I'm going to tell y'all what I got going on, so y'all ain't got to try to figure it out. A lot of people feel like because I live in my granny house and because I don't have a car, that I'm not doing the things that I was doing in Vegas. I'm not as successful as I was in Vegas. I'm going to tell y'all something. I pivoted what I did in Vegas. I had to find another way, because let me tell y'all something. I'm working up on 50. I can't be in the club doing shows forever. I can't do that forever. I got to find another way to get my money. And I happen to be able to sit down and put myself in a lane where I can get my money. And I don't have to be in the spotlight. I don't have to see y'all niggas if I don't want to. And I'm happy with that. But I need y'all to not get it messed up and think, oh, I'm not doing this and I'm not doing that and my money is this. And, listen, I'm okay. Okay? I'm okay. I'm just as successful as I was in Vegas. I don't have a car because I don't know what kind of car I want. Okay? Let me just get this out for all of y'all. Okay? Andrew was going to buy me a car. I didn't even know what kind of car I wanted. Okay? So this is why I don't have a car. But y'all stay tuned, because before this year is over, I'm popping out on y'all with no car note. Okay? Y'all just stay tuned. So I love how y'all talk and y'all be toxic and y'all be like not knowing what I have going on. So it becomes the topic of conversation. And this is just not for my family. This is for people that follow me too. I've overheard things. I hear things. I see screenshots of conversations. Y'all be wanting to know what I'm doing so bad. So I'm telling y'all what I'm doing, okay? I'm telling y'all. I don't want a car right now. I'm going to pop out in what I want when I get the money for what I want, because I'm almost there. I'm this close to getting it. And I didn't want to pop out in no bucket. I didn't want no used car. I don't want to do that again. All right. So for all the toxic people that's wondering what Danny got going on, I'm all right over here. I don't want to go back to Vegas. Vegas was good to me. I love everybody in Vegas. They're more than welcome to come to California for anything I'm having. But I'm good over here, y'all. And just keep it 100. I'm doing better here than I was in Vegas. Now, y'all clock that. All right. One more thing. Honor thy father and thy mother. I had put a little note in here on that, because I wanted to talk about what that really meant. A lot of people feel like because it's their child, or because they're the mother, they're the father, that the child should be following what they said and doing what they said. I've heard people say, I don't care how old you are, you still a kid, all that type of stuff. It's okay to cut off your parents if they toxic. I don't know the scripture. As long as you're okay with how your business is going, that's the important part. Thank you. I don't know the scripture. Apostle Huggins, can you please put it in the comments for me? It's a scripture about not provoking your children. This goes back to boundaries. I told the story earlier about I didn't get into the story, my bad, but I did mention earlier toxic mothers who take care of their sons and put their daughters out and then wonder why their daughters go no contact. Apostle Huggins, if you don't mind, please put the scripture about provoking your children in the comments. We got to do better. We got to do better with being toxic toward each other, with having boundaries with each other, with being able to communicate with each other. And it is okay. It is okay to go no contact. It is okay. It is okay. Here it is right here. Honor does not mean tolerate abuse. You can pray for someone from a distance. Reconciliation requires repentance and change. So that's what it was about honoring thy mother and father. Honor does not mean tolerate abuse. It does not mean you have to deal with things that you would not deal with on a normal basis. Okay? So, thank y'all for tuning in tonight. I actually went over the time. This is the second week I done went over the time, but I really like having these conversations. And when the conversation is good, I just want to go into it. Thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate y'all so much. It is time for the Cash App giveaway. So, thank you, Apostle Huggins. So, Ephesians 6:4, Colossians 3. Okay, now let me see. I'm going to go through these Cash App tags. And I'm just scrolling, so whatever one I get to first. Annette Suber. That's the first one I see. I'm scrolling and just kind of stopping. Annette Suber. We're going to Cash App you, Annette. I'm going to give your name to the sponsors. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. Annette Suber, you won the Cash App games for today. Thank y'all for tuning in. We're going to play every week, okay? So y'all make sure y'all stay tuned for Cash App games every week on Couch Conversations. Thank you to our sponsor. We are sponsored by Flash Drive LLC, owned by Mr. J Flash himself. Thank y'all so much for tuning in and cooperating and playing Cash App games. And next week we will be back. So your Cash App money will be received in the AM. It will be for your morning coffee, your morning drink, whatever you drink in the morning. I'll give it to him tonight, and he will Cash App you in the morning. And I thank y'all so much for tuning in. Let me see. I kind of switched up my little thing over here. Make sure to go subscribe on YouTube at The Real Danni Gyrl, or you could put in DMEG TV. And check out the website, divinemanagement.weebly.com. If you have any questions, suggestions, if you would like to be on the show, you can text me at 702-578-6716. You can also email couchconversationslive@gmail.com, or you can message us on Instagram at couchconversationslive. Next week, February 26th, we will be back 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm not sure who we're going to have on the show or what the topic will be, but I will let y'all know. Y'all know the flyer will be up ASAP. If you're not following us on Facebook, please make sure to go follow the Couch Conversations Live page. And my closing words, I actually have closing words tonight. Faith is trauma. Family is trauma. Family trauma is complex, but here is the truth. You are allowed to grow. You are allowed to change. You are allowed to require your respect. You are allowed to protect your peace. Healing does not always look like a family reunion. Sometimes it just looks like maturity. Sometimes it just looks like therapy. Sometimes it looks like silence. Sometimes it looks like forgiveness without repeat access. Family can shape you, but it doesn't have to break you. You can love people and still limit access. You can forgive people and still choose distance. You can honor people and still protect your peace. Healing may make you feel like the black sheep. Growth may make you feel misunderstood, but your peace is worth it. Protect your peace. Don't let the pain turn you cold. All right. Thank y'all for tuning in. This is your favorite talk show host, your girl, Danni Gyrl. This has been Couch Conversations Live. One more time, nothing's off limits on the couch, y'all. If you would like to be on the show, let me know. I love having guests sit down on the couch with me in person and virtually. So send me a message, DM me, shoot me a phone call. If you missed the number, when the show is over, you can go back to that spot, get the number, and give me a call. Or if you see it scrolling on the bottom of the screen right there where it says show your support by Zelle or Apple Pay, that is my phone number. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. You didn't know nothing about Cash App. I'm sorry, Candy. So let me explain about Cash App before we go. Our sponsor has brought back Cash App games. That's something we did in season 1 and season 2. We do different things every week. This week was to share, tag, and comment your Cash App. And at the end of the show, we will give away money. So we'll be doing this every week. It'll be a prompt on the show for you to do something to win the money, answer a question, share the live. We're going to be doing something different every week. Let me see. Oh, I had I'm sorry, y'all. Let me check out these YouTube comments real quick. Oh, thank you. Somebody said they needed this tonight. Thank y'all. Thank y'all to everybody that said that they enjoyed the topic. They wanted to hear this topic. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in every week, all the way from season 8. For those of you that don't know, Couch Conversation started in 2021. It was just a thought I came up with. And I thank y'all for supporting. We 8 seasons in. And I appreciate y'all because I have found out that I am some of y'all favorite talk show hosts. So I appreciate that. But thank y'all for tuning in. As always, I tell y'all every week when we close the show, peace and have a divine night. God bless you.